Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Katie, and in today's video I just wanted to show you like an overview tour of my Notions app, what kind of things I use Notion for, and then I'll show you my reading tracker and book wish list. I have a few different databases, as you can see on the left hand side here. The first being my reading tracker, then my book wish list, a diamond painting tracker, year in the life, which is still like a work in progress. I'm still working on that one, and a journal. Like I mentioned though, I think I'm gonna just focus on today's video on the reading tracker and the book wish list. But the diamond painting tracker is really just a place where I can kind of add like the start date and the finish date. I like to see how long those take me while I'm working on them. A year in the life right now just has a calendar and some goals for the year, and my journal database just has some prompts that I can use when I feel like journaling. But first is the reading tracker. So I use this to show all the books currently on my shelf, meaning books that I actually own. Own mostly physical books, but I do have a few Kindle books that are included as well. To start, right, of course I have the title, 2025 reading tracker. I added a little book emoji like icon and a book, or it's of books, but a cover art, and then a quote right here as well, by Dr. Seuss. The more you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Thought that was appropriate. So the first little section here though is kind of like the main part of it. It's the tracker or the counter that I use to keep track of the total books that I've read this year. So this number here, the 55, that is actually my goal for the year. The 4 below that is the total number of books that I've read, and then of course there's a percentage and a progress bar to keep track of my progress. In order to actually add to the counter, so once I've finished a book, to change 4 to 5, all I do is click on this plus book button that I installed in the Notion page, or the database. So when I click on that, it does take took a couple seconds there, but it changed it to 5, and the percentage and progress bar was updated. And I'll explain a little bit more about that down below, because there's a section down below for that. Scroll down a little bit here, I have what I titled as my library. So this includes everything. So everything that I'm currently reading, everything that's on my shelf that I have not read yet, and everything that I have read. It's just kind of like a home base for everything that's currently on my shelf. The next one here is my current reads. I currently have 2. Well, I haven't started Kingdom Mash, but currently reading this one. You can see the progress. I'm 19% in. So this is where I'll keep track of the books I'm currently reading, and I'll update it as I go with the page number that I'm on to update the progress. Next one here is on my shelf. So these are all the books that I do own that I have not read yet. And it just keeps them all here together. When I go to read another book, if it's on my shelf here, I click on this, I'll change the status to current read, and it will remove it from this page and move it to this page. And then last is read tab here. Shows everything that I've read this year so far, and I do have it in like chronological order by the finish date. Same thing though, let's say a current read, I finish, I'll fill out this part. Once I finish reading, I change this to read, so it will remove it from my current reads and move it over to the read category. And then this page also includes, like, I'll update my thoughts and any notes that I have on the book, and then of course we have the book cover. So overall, this is how I of course set it up. There are so many different ways that you can use Notion. You can use it as a tracker. There's different ways that you can use to track it. This is just what I like and what works best for me. I really do enjoy having the cover shown of each book. I'm a visual person, so this just really helps me to see it this way instead of just like a really long list of books and their titles and authors. So to add a new book, so let's say I went out to Barnes & Noble, I bought a new book. I'm not going to read it right away, so I'm going to add it to my on my shelf tab here. But all I do is I click on the new, and this brings up this new page, and then I created a template, so I'll click on that. And really what the template is adding is just this little icon up here, which is not really necessary, but I like it. I like to have it, you know, it's next to the little title on the page. And then it adds this section for my thoughts and notes after I'm done reading, for like my little review, and then a place where you can add the book cover. So once I buy a new book and I'm adding it to my library here, I'll fill out what I can, you know, the name, title of the book, the author, genre, which I'm going to click in here as well. So I have some different options that I can choose from, different genres. So let's say it's like a young adult romance, you know, you can click young adult and romance. And then format, again, I have just different formats of the book that I might have. Typically it's paperback, and I'll choose own if I've purchased it. If I'm borrowing it from like Libby or something like that, or you know, your local library, I would just choose library borrowed. I'll add the total page count, and then status would be on my shelf is what I would choose, just because, you know, I'm not reading it right away. And then I'll scroll down here, go to Google Images, save an image of the book title, or I'm sorry, the book cover, and then I'll just upload it here. So I'm actually gonna trash that. And then this is how it's gonna show up when you've added a book. And that's basically it for that. Like I said, it's just a nice way to show all of the books that I currently own instead of just like a long, never-ending list. I'm just a visual person, so I think it's cool to see the book cover instead of just like the name and author and everything. And then let me go to this one real quick. So this is like the last little bit of the database that I mentioned up here. It has something to do with the tracker up here. So it's not really like a functional table that I use in my tracker. What it does is when I add, or when I click on plus book, it adds an item to the table. So right now it's 5, because right now the counter is showing that I've read 5 books. And this, the percentage and the progress bar will take the data from this table in order to update and calculate the percentage and the progress towards my goal. So that's basically it for my reading tracker database. If you do want like a more in-depth video on how I actually set this up, please let me know in the comment section. I'd be happy to share a video showing like a step-by-step and explaining exactly how you can set this up yourself. I feel like if I can do it, then you guys can do it as well. So just let me know if you'd be interested in that. Now the next database I wanted to show in today's video is my book wish list. This is somewhat self-explanatory, I guess. So basically this kind of set up similar to my reading tracker. So of course I have my title, a little emoji icon, cover art, and another quote, you know, "We read to know we are not alone" by C.S. Lewis. And then I have all sorts of different tabs up here, different types of wish lists, and I have it kind of filtered out to be a little bit more specific than just all in one place. So the dream library is everything all in one place, regardless of like genre or anything like that. And then I do have it split up into different genres. So I have a romance wish list, fantasy, thriller, mystery, historical fiction, nonfiction, and then literary fiction. And same kind of thing with the reading tracker. So in here I have like the name of the book, the author, the genre. Release date is only for like new releases, which I'll get to in a second. And then the status is split by genre. So, you know, this is a fantasy wishlist book, so I have that one chosen. And then the book cover as well. So again, I would click new if I had a new book to add. I would click on my template book title, and really again all that's doing is just adding an icon and adding a spot for the image book cover. Let me trash that because I don't need them. The other tabs that I do have here is new releases. So this would be any new release upcoming, like for this year, that I already know the date that it's going to come out in. And I just have it all listed here. Once the date has come, so the next one would be February 4th, this date has come and passed, but I didn't actually go out and buy the book like right away. So I'll come here, I'll just change this to romance wishlist instead of new release, because it has been released at that point if the day has come and passed, and that's it. It'll just remove it from my new releases and move it over to the romance wishlist if that's the genre. But that way I have them all in one place. Again, I like the book cover, so it's just a good way for me to visually see any upcoming books that I might be interested in that are coming out. And then the last tab here is read but don't own. So this would be any like Kindle books that I've read that I would like a physical copy of, any books I've borrowed from my sister or like borrowed on Libby, anything I've read that I would like to have for myself, or a Kindle book that I want just like a print version of. I'll just keep them here just to keep track of that as well. So every now and then I'll come to my wish list if it's been like a month or so, and I'll just kind of click through to see if I've purchased any of my wish list books in the recent months or weeks or whatever, and basically all I do is just delete it from here. There was one earlier that I took care of, but I'll just come in here, click the 3 little dots and just delete it, because most likely I've already added it to my tracker as well as like a on my shelf book. And same thing with like the new releases. Every now and then I'll go in, and if the date has come and passed, and like I said, I didn't go out and purchase the book like immediately, I'll just change the status to the wish list genre category so that it removes it from my new releases and changes it to the wish list. So I think that's going to be it for today's video. Please ask any questions in the comment section below. Leave a comment if you liked this, if you want to see more, and if you could also like the video to show your support, I would greatly appreciate that. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!